Hi, I'm Shawn Armstrong. Welcome to Module 11 of the Biden crime family inside the modern American oligarchy. This module is a little different. We're not adding new allegations. We're talking about how to read them, how to read documents, how to read summaries, how to read commentary, including mine, responsibly. Think of this lesson as your user's guide to the book and to this whole topic. This module is your roadmap for using the Biden crime family like a sourcebook. Treat it as a curated stack of primary documents with my commentary layered on top. Let's start with what's actually in the book. At the back, you'll find a reference section and endnotes that point to congressional documents, House oversight memos, press releases, subpoenas, letters, public bank memos, committee summaries of subpoenaed bank records, transcripts from whistleblowers, Devin Archer and others, FBI and IRS-related material, FD 1023 descriptions, supervisory special agent transcripts, press material and public reporting, where mainstream or investigative outlets helped fill in context or timelines. The structure of the book is very simple. 1. A chapter that tells the story in plain English. 2. Footnotes and references that tell you exactly where that story came from. If you want to verify a claim, you don't have to trust me. You can follow the reference trail back to the original document. This is the most important distinction in the whole course. There are 3 layers to almost everything we've covered. 1. Primary documents. 2. Partisan summaries. 3. Commentary. Let's define them. These are things like bank records and wire descriptions, official FD 1023 forms, transcripts of sworn testimony, letters on committee letterhead, NARA records, schedules, emails, actual check images, and scanned documents. Primary documents answer questions like what amount, on what date, from which account to which account. What did this witness actually say, word for word? What did this committee actually ask for, in writing? These are the hardest to spin, but they can still be incomplete or redacted. These are things like House Oversight Majority memos, press releases from Republicans or Democrats, talking points documents, committee key findings sheets. They usually start with the evidence shows, we conclude, this proves. These summaries are interpretations of the primary docs. They can be very helpful, but they connect dots and highlight patterns. But they're written by people with a political goal. You have to read them knowing that. This is books like mine, opinion columns, podcasts and TV segments, YouTube breakdowns, influencers on social media. Commentary is where people say, here's what I think this all means. It's the furthest layer away from the raw evidence. It can be useful, but it is also where bias and framing are the strongest. In the Biden crime family, I try to keep those layers clear. Here is the document. Here is what the committee said about it. Here is my analysis of both. Now, let's talk about me for a second. I do not pretend to be neutral. If you've made it this far in the course, you already know I'm deeply skeptical of how the Biden family business model intersected with public office. My lens as an author is critical of influence peddling, critical of double standards in enforcement, critical of nothing to see here media narratives. That's my bias. You deserve to know it, so what do I do to keep that bias from warping the evidence? 3 things. 1. I anchor my claims in named documents, not anonymous leaks. 2. I quote key passages rather than just paraphrasing. 3. I tell you when something is an allegation, an inference, or a proven fact in court. I'm not asking you to ignore my point of view. I'm asking you to factor it in while you read the references for yourself. Here are some simple questions you can use for any source, including me. Question 1. How close is this to the primary document? Am I looking at the original memo or someone else's thread about the memo? Am I reading the actual transcript or a selectively clipped quote? The closer you get to the original text, the better your footing. Question 2. What is this person's incentive? A committee majority wants to prove a point. A White House statement wants to protect the president. A cable news panel wants ratings. An author, like me, is making an argument. Ask, what would this person lose if the story went the opposite way? That helps you see where pressure points are. Question 3. Does the story survive a side-by-side comparison? Take 3 things. 1, a primary document, like a bank memo or transcript. 2, a major media write-up of the same event. And 3, a committee summary or press release. Read them together. Ask what details are left out. Where are numbers or quotes softened? Where are they spun in opposite directions? When a narrative can survive being checked against the original doc, it's stronger. When it falls apart in a side-by-side reading, you've learned something important. So, how do you use the Biden crime family as more than just a narrative? Here's a simple pattern. Step 1. Start with the chapter. For example, Bombshell FD 1023. Memo, bank records reveal payments to the Bidens from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. Direct payment evidence of $200,000. Direct payment to Joe Biden. Or the whistleblower and Devin Archer chapters. Let the chapter give you the story arc. Look at which documents are cited, which dates are tied to which events, which committees or agencies the materials came from. The full memo, the full transcript, the competing statement from the other political side. Use the references as a jumping off point to find those. Take the book's summary, the original doc, and whatever mainstream coverage you can find. See where they agree, where they clash, and where one is silent and the others aren't. That's how you move from being a passive consumer to an active investigator. At the end of the day, this course is not about handing you a verdict. It's about giving you enough structure and source material that you can form your own conclusions responsibly. So I want to leave you with 3 simple invitations. 1. Read the primary documents. Don't let anyone, politician, pundit, or author, be the only lens you look through. 2. Compare mainstream coverage with investigative memos. When the gap is big, ask why. Be honest about your own bias, too. We all bring prior beliefs into this topic. The question is whether we'll let the documents challenge us if they need to. To wrap up, we walked through how this book is sourced, from congressional documents to bank memos, transcripts, and press release. We drew a line between primary documents, partisan summaries, and commentary. We talked about my interpretive lenses as the author and why you should factor that in. And we laid out a simple method for using the book as a source book, not just a story, but a curated stack of documents with commentary on top. This module is your roadmap for doing your own homework on all of this. Treat the Biden crime family as a curated stack of primary documents with my commentary layered on top. And as always, if you want the primary documents, bank memos, and full transcripts, they're printed and explained in the Biden crime family. When you're ready, we'll move on to the final modules and pull the big picture together.